Hello everyone, I'm Tom Walsh. Welcome to the 2015 Jesuit Sports Hall of Fame Selection Show. I'm joined by a very special individual today as we are sitting here at 12345 Inwood Road, the campus of Jesuit College Prep. As I'm joined today by Phil Bolton from the class of 2001. Phil, thanks for coming out and having a visit with us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
So, Phil's here because he is a member of the 2015 Jesuit Sports Hall of Fame class. Phil was a great rugby player here at Jesuit, all kinds of accolades. I'll talk about some of those. But Phil, just tell us a little bit about the time that you got the call and what it meant to you to learn that you were being inducted into your alma mater's Hall of Fame.
Well, Tom, it was a huge honor. When I got the phone call, it was Coach Matacchione gave me a call, and he started off, and it was kind of somber, and he paused a little bit, and he said, "Phil, I've got some bad news for you." I was like, "Mata, well, what could it be?" He goes, "Well, you've been inducted to the Athletic Hall of Fame at Jesuit." And then we kind of just both blew up on the phone, you know, with excitement. It's incredibly good feeling, and it's really an honor to be a part of it.
Well, that's just outstanding. Coach Anthony Matacchione is one of my all-time personal favorites. I wanted to say that since this will be memorialized always on the internet. So, Coach Mata, that's for you. But so, Phil, from the class of 2001, I've got a few accolades here I want to mention. Phil, you co-captained the team to its first ever undefeated rugby season. In 2 seasons, you set 2 records, which stood for about a decade: most conversions and most points in a season. You're currently the 5th all-time leading point scorer. Quite an accomplishment. What was it about rugby that drew you to it?
Well, I previously played football, and I played soccer, and I grew up playing a lot of different sports. And to be honest, there's quite a bit of peer pressure coming in. There's a lot of the seniors who are already on the rugby team, and you know, they kept coming up to me during, you know, walking the hallways and saying, "Bolton, let's go. Come on. You play soccer, you punt, you kick, you're wide receiver. You know, let's have you out there. You'll be good." And I kind of blew it off for a while. And then finally, I just decided to put on my soccer boots and head out there and never look back.
Now, did you continue playing other sports, or was rugby what you ended up making your primary focus here?
Rugby turned into my focus. It was all-encompassing, and that was the main appeal to me, was just that you get to pass, you get to kick, you get to tackle, you're on offense, you're on defense, and I feel like it's a really well-rounded sport, so it just appealed to me in every single way.
We're visiting right now with Phil Bolton from the class of 2001 to 2015 Jesuit Sports Hall of Famer. The event will be on April 25th, 6 o'clock Mass right here at Jesuit. Of course, after Mass, everything will take place at the Terry Center. If you want to get your tickets, be sure and call over here to the Jesuit office and ask to talk to Sean McMullen, and I'm sure he will get you hooked up. So, you're great at Jesuit, no question about that, but let's talk about in college. You received a scholarship to play rugby at the University of New Mexico, and I believe you were the first ever Jesuit rugby player to receive a scholarship. Is that right?
I believe so. I mean, I got actually, there's another contact through the Dallas Rugby Club and through Coach Mata, but I got a phone call from the guy over at UNM and wanted me to come have a look at the school and the facilities and the team, and it was pretty hard to turn down. I'd just spent a year, when I graduated Jesuit, I took off to go play in Switzerland for a year, and then when I came back to Dallas, I figured that Albuquerque is not too far from Dallas compared to Europe, so a little closer to home, and it was a really good offer, and so I decided to head over to New Mexico.
Well, when you graduated from New Mexico, you graduated with the accolade as the most dominant player on the rugby team, and you were also an All-American, so obviously you excelled at college as well.
You know, what's funny about that is when I graduated from Jesuit, I was probably $165, and then when I went to college and was put on a regime, 2-a-days, you know, lifting, nutrition, all that kind of stuff, I finally filled in. And the first 2 years in college, I wouldn't at all say that I dominated. I was still learning and developing my skills and growing, but just with consistent work rate, by the time I was a junior, that's when I started to kind of take off in the collegiate realm.
Now, you've had the opportunity to play rugby all over the world, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Talk about some of the experiences there.
Well, where do we start? After I received All-American honors for the last 2 years, I was offered a little deal down in New Zealand. So I went down to Hawke's Bay, New Zealand for 2 years and played with Clive Rugby Club. And just living there, where rugby is to New Zealand like football is to Texas. So I was an outsider, but showing up and being able to play their game, and I really immersed myself in their culture and played a really good level. And then I was also fortunate enough to be selected to some teams that there's a travel team called Atlantis, and who's founded by actually another Jesuit guy, Emil Cygnus. And with Atlantis, I've traveled to Rome, I've traveled to Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago, and the team goes to Fiji, all over the world. And one of the best things about that is we travel to play the sport that we love, but every time we go, we also have a mission to give back to the locals. So on these trips, we always go to the local orphanage, and we donate clothes and we donate rugby balls and things that they don't really have, and it's hard for them to get. So it kind of brings that whole Jesuit aspect back into it. You're doing something you love, and then on the other side, you know that you're committed to doing well for other people's too.
That's fantastic. Now, you had some occasions to continue on with Jesuit experiences after you graduated from here, correct?
Correct. So it's kind of funny, Tom, throughout the years after leaving Jesuit, I pretty much left Dallas for 13 years, but all along the way there's just little light posts of Jesuit contacts. And one of my really good friends when I was playing in Denver, Colorado, turns out he went to the Jesuit school in Dublin. And so once we both realized that, we both kind of looked at each other and said, "Men for others?" And he goes, "Men for others." So there's a little international bond there. A lot of my coaches and teammates, all throughout the world, also attended Jesuit schools. And I actually coached at St. Ignatius in Cleveland, Ohio, and we won a state championship for those guys. And they're all great kids, same idea, good community, really tight knit, and it was an amazing experience.
Let me end with this question for you, Phil. As you look back on your Jesuit experience, what stands out in your mind as being the most special?
That's a tough question to answer. But when 13 years down the road from when I graduated, there was always a resounding core that, for me, was established here. And with our retreats, with our the masses, with just the camaraderie and the community that was built here, that's something that I've realized through the years. Every single year it grows even bigger. It doesn't fade away, and that's one of the things I'm most proud of. And also all my Jesuit brothers that I meet up with, we all agree. And what Jesuit does just for the community and for young men's growth and providing those pillars for our foundation, it's pretty amazing stuff. I think about it all the time. It's a real honor.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's an honor for me to get to visit with you today. You're going to be a fantastic representative, the first ever rugby player here at Jesuit College Prep to go into that Hall of Fame, but you're very deserving. You had a spectacular career here at Jesuit, spectacular career in college and post-college, and we're all proud of you, and we're looking forward to seeing you get inducted and get your own blue blazer on April the 25th.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it, Tom. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Phil.
Yes,
we
sir.
appreciate it.
All right.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have our next special Jesuit Sports Hall of Famer. But this was Phil Bolton from the class of 2001. Phil, great talking to you.
Yes, sir. You too.
We'll be back in a moment.